Just as was the case with the first 5 divine attributes, these challenges to unity took the form of tribalism and tribal wars, racism and enslavement, colonialism and neo-colonialism. On occasions, our differences, hatreds, and tribal wars got so bad that we did not think twice about going on slave wars to capture our fellow Africans as slaves, who we then handed over to the foreign slave masters, Arab, African, American, British, Dutch, French, and Portuguese, to name some, together with gold, salt, spices, good quality cloth and ivory in the form of elephant tusks, in exchange for cheap tin cups and plates, alcohol, cheap cotton cloth, beads, rusty knives, cowrie shells, and malfunctioning or lethal to operate blunderbuss and musket guns.
Africa, Kebulan. Africa, Kebulan. Africa, Kebulan. United as one. United as one. United as one.
Welcome back, my dear warriors of the Black Vibration, and welcome to those who resonate with the Black Vibration, and welcome their guests and passers-by. This is part 5 of an urgent message from My Trinity for Africa and Africa in Diaspora, as it is vitally important and urgent that the peoples of the Black Vibration of Africa and Africa in Diaspora awaken, remember their divine mission, rise and fulfill that divine mission now. In part 4, I presented the 3rd and 4th of 7 divine archetypal living truths or principles and attributes that the peoples of the Black Vibration have to experience and exemplify in practical terms, all within the context of the duality unification and integration in divine dynamic balance drama and its duality matrix. In this part 5, I continue with my presentation of these 7 divine attributes as follows. The 5th divine attribute is wisdom. Wisdom is to firstly understand and accept that there is a divine meaning and a divine purpose to everything that happens in life and that a person experiences in their life. Wisdom encompasses all the other divine attributes, including faith, self-empowerment, love, the wisdom of freedom and the freedom of wisdom, experience, knowledge, and discernment, and how we apply all these attributes in our daily life. Wisdom is therefore the application and practice of the ever-expanding and increasingly deep clarity, knowledge, understanding, and discernment of the divine higher, deeper, broader, and nuanced meanings and purpose of the divine archetypal living truths or principles by a person in their journey through life. And how does a person do that? In the same way Creator Eternal Infinite did and does, by expressing their passion through the act of creating and then immersing themselves in their creations to experience their existence to experience their divine purpose, to experience their creativity, to experience their life moment by moment. All the wisdom that a person acquires and possesses is embodied by the higher soul self and is constantly available and accessible to guide them on their life adventures. Thus, a deepening consciousness or awareness and acceptance of your own divinity, coupled with implicit trust in the Trinity God within, enables a person to work with their indwelling I am presence and the guidance it provides to craft experiences that challenge us to make moral choices that test and expand our understanding of the divine archetypal living truths or principles such as love, joy, grace, trust, devotion, justice, empathy, fairness, compassion, gratitude, beauty, balance, self-worth, goodness, freedom, responsibility, sovereignty, wisdom, divine creative power, and exemplification of leadership through service and service through leadership. Once again, in the duality context, we are challenged to experience the polar opposites of these attributes in countless creative adventures during which we are urged, encouraged, challenged to strive for excellence and engage with the highest divine purpose, creation or creative expression, manifestation, outcome, solution, experience, or perspective that is to the highest divine benefit of all concerned. Highest divine benefit meaning that which provides the greatest potential for the exercise or demonstration and experience of divine archetypal living truths or principles, all of which lead to the acquisition of divine wisdom, growth, and evolution. And here we must remember that highest divine benefits can also be challenges. This journey through life leads you through a process of embodied ascension or enlightenment, in which you finally come to the full and conscious realization that as a human personification of God the Creator, the eternal, infinite, all that is, you are Creator God also. You are Creator God in action. The sixth divine attribute is unity. It is vitally important that the peoples of the Black vibration fully and consciously understand that being able to embody and exemplify the first 5 divine attributes makes it possible to embody and exemplify the sixth divine attribute of unity. For unity is the foundation upon which the peoples of the Black vibration of Africa and Africa in Diaspora build their new conscious, new energy civilization, and so fulfill the divine mission of their divine destiny. We came to Earth, and specifically to Africa, to have this tremendous experience of coming into unity. because we would not have been able to do so staying only within our own kind, within the confines of our spiritual families, on our separate and different worlds. If the objective was not unity, but instead to keep on emphasizing our differences and how separate we are, why bother then to come to Earth? We could all have simply just stayed put in our home worlds. To come to Earth, recreate our separateness and differences, and then dwell there and keep on perpetuating them would mean that we do not evolve an iota, and all the suffering that has constituted a major aspect of our mission would have all been for nothing. In this regard, therefore, it is vital that the peoples of the Black vibration remember and fully understand that they took on the humanoid form and came to Earth to play the game of duality unification and integration in divine dynamic balance, within which to discover diversity that can act in divine dynamically balanced unity, unity that enables diversity to flourish in divine dynamically balanced ways. Naturally, in the duality matrix, one must first face challenges that are the opposite of unity in order to acquire the deepest understanding and appreciation of this divine gift. As a result, the peoples of the Black vibration in Africa and in Africa in Diaspora have faced many tremendous challenges to do with unity over many decades, centuries, even millennia. Just as was the case with the first 5 divine attributes, these challenges to unity took the form of tribalism and tribal wars, racism and enslavement, colonialism and neo-colonialism. On occasions, our differences, hatreds, and tribal wars got so bad that we did not think twice about going on slave wars to capture our fellow Africans as slaves, who we then handed over to the foreign slave masters, Arab, African, American, British, Dutch, French, and Portuguese, to name some, together with gold, salt, spices, good quality cloth, and ivory in the form of elephant tusks, in exchange for cheap tin cups and plates, alcohol, cheap cotton cloth, beads, rusty knives, cowrie shells, and malfunctioning or lethal to operate blunderbuss and musket guns. The greed, ruthlessness, thoughtlessness, dysfunctionality, fear, gullibility, and paranoia that resulted from all of this made it possible for the colonizers to use the tool of divide and conquer to suppress, oppress, enslave, dupe, control, and rule the peoples of the Black vibration of Africa and Africa in Diaspora most effectively for centuries, right up to the present day. Today, many Africans complain that the colonial masters slapped borders around people and created countries without taking into account the tribal differences of the people within those borders. And they use that as justification to spend inordinate amounts of energy and time practicing tribalism and wallowing in their differences. Africans pretend that they do not see, know, and understand that just about every country in the world was formed originally of people with more than one language or dialect and ethnic grouping, who were welded into the individual nations we see today through war and conquest. Yet we make so much noise and fuss about our so-called differences in Africa, as if the world has never seen anything like it before. It is time for the peoples of the Black vibration to switch their perspective and attitudes from the ordinary 3D and realize that from the divine meaning and divine purpose perspective, as well as from the perspective of the higher consciousness reality to which the peoples of the Black vibration are evolving, this seemingly arbitrary imposition of borders were important opportunities and steps of progress on our journey to unity. We could even find the courage to be amused by the irony of it all, because the imposition of borders is, after all, also an act of separation, of divide and conquer. Yet, ironically, within those borders, different ethnicities now had the opportunity to unite and learn to live with one another, and to even unite against their common enemy, their colonial masters. It is a matter of urgency that the peoples of the Black vibration now switch their perspectives and attitudes and focus on and realize that from the divine meaning and divine purpose perspectives, the deeply challenging experiences that we have had were and are indeed the experiences in the game of duality, unification, and integration in divine dynamic balance that we were and are to undergo, that we are meant to withstand, but then which we are to overcome by discovering, embodying, and exemplifying the divine attribute of unity and its expressions in the other 6 major divine attributes that constitute our divine mission. What the peoples of the Black vibration have to master is how to operate in divine dynamic balance in the Black vibration, how to embody and act with and within the tremendous power that is the Black vibration, and in a state of divine dynamic balance, how to acquire the ability to transform and refocus the tremendously powerful energies of the Black vibration from the ego to the divinely dynamically balanced state of being of humility in sovereignty and sovereignty in humility. So this is definitely not the time for Africans to focus on separation and differences, which all too often manifest as tribalism, which is often accompanied by destructive and self-destructive traditional beliefs, attitudes, and practices. This whole matter of unity is one of Africa's biggest challenges, if not her biggest challenge today. This disunity is where we have come from and from which we must evolve. And it is us, the peoples of the Black vibration of Africa and Africa in Diaspora, who must each do the work to bring about our unity and so achieve a victorious outcome to our divine mission. And that victorious outcome is founded on unity. Unity provides the equality, cooperation, and peace that nurtures courage, self-empowerment, and freedom. Unity makes possible the environment of divine dynamic unity and balance that enables people to seek and find guidance and self-empowerment from the God within, instead of being propelled by fear to look for them outside of themselves or seek to take power from others or hand their power over to others. It is this space and place of divine dynamic unity and balance that makes it possible to receive from one's Trinity God within information, knowledge, and wisdom that is of the highest degree of clarity and integrity. It is in this space and place of divine dynamic unity and balance that we come to have a deeper understanding of the value and the beauty of the divine archetypal living truths or principles. It is in this space and place of divine dynamic unity and balance that we come to realize how eternal and infinite is God the Creator, the eternal, infinite, all that is. It is in this space and place of divine dynamic unity and balance that we come to realize that we humans are all God the Creator also. That we are God the Creator, the eternal, infinite, all that is in action. This concludes part 5 of this message. In part 6, I provide information on the 7th divine principle of exemplification. Exemplification of the new consciousness, new energy civilization by the peoples of the Black vibration of Africa and Africa in Diaspora, and the important tenets that govern them. Afrika al-Kebulan, Afrika al-Kebulan, Afrika al-Kebulan. United as one, united as one, united as one. By the power of 3, the peoples of the Black vibration are enlightened, sovereign, and free. And they fulfill their divine mission, and they fulfill their divine destiny. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is in golden dust. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Africa, Kebulan. Africa, Kebulan. Africa, Kebulan. United as one. United as one. United as one. By the power of 3, we the peoples of the Black vibration of Africa and of Africa in the diaspora are enlightened, sovereign and free. And we fulfill our divine mission, and we fulfill our divine destiny. Africa, Kebulan. Africa, Kebulan. united as one.